All right, CNBC's Becky Quick interviewed Warren Buffett this morning and found the Oracle of Omaha remains a long-term bull. Here's Becky's full report.
Larry, Mr. Buffett told the world 5 months ago that he was buying American stocks. He says that even though the market has dropped significantly since then, he does not regret that call. He says he stands by it. By the way, he says he's never been a market timer, and he still thinks that these are good buys. Eventually, these will pay off. He also talked about how the economy is in dire straits right now, but he does think Washington is doing the right thing. He says right now is the time for big government spending, and that's exactly what Washington's doing. Obviously, we're going to have to pay for all of that big spending that Washington's doing right now, though. And one solution that's been out there has been to raise taxes on the wealthy. That's something Buffett has been behind for some time. But he also says it's a very controversial move. And he says right now is not the time for controversy.
Job one is to win the war. Job, the economic war. Job two is to win the economic war. And job three. And you can't expect people to unite behind you if you're trying to jam a whole bunch of things down their throats.
But what about quick solutions for everything that's happening in the markets right now? Many market players think that getting rid of mark-to-market accounting, that would be a great way to help solve the problems. Buffett, though, is not so sure.
I've always been theological on mark-to-market accounting because I've seen so much of what people do when they're allowed to use their imagination on balance sheets or income statements. And frankly, American business misbehaved in a big way, particularly in the 90s. But people did play games with numbers, and they probably still do. But it was almost accepted as a way of doing business. So I've always been suspicious when you give a CEO a pen and tell him it's the honor system. And anything other than mark-to-market works in that direction.
One thing, Larry, that he does say he thinks could help the market a little bit at least is the return of the uptick rule. That's something else that market participants have been calling for. He says that could actually help stock prices. He doesn't see anything wrong with it. He doesn't think it's the key issue, but he does think that every little bit could help. Larry, back to you.
All right. Thanks, Becky. Terrific stuff. Now, here's what White House Press Secretary Robert Gibbs had to say about Mr. Buffett today.
Many of the things that Mr. Buffett said, the administration would understand and agree with. I think the administration would believe that saying no isn't an economic policy. Mr. Buffett said Democrats and Republicans are going to have to get along and work together in order to get the country out of this economic mess. Mr. Buffett also said that we're not likely to fix this in 5 minutes. I don't think we're likely to fix this in 6 weeks and 6 days.
All right, let's bring back Steve Forbes and Art Laffer, and let's also bring in Peter Schiff of Europe Pacific Capital, author of the Little Book of Bull Moves in Bear Markets. Gentlemen, I want a quick whip around before we go on to the next segment. Peter Schiff, is Buffett right to be a long-term bull in American stocks? Yes or no? Yes or no?
Well, it depends on what the long term is.
Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Wow, I love it.
But not now.
All right, Art Laffer, is Warren Buffett right to be a long-term bull? Yes or no?
From right here, yes.
Wow, Steve Forbes?
Oh, absolutely. A few changes and the market will go up big time.
I love that. Ask me. Yes, he's got it right. He might have been early, but so be it. Everyone's early or late or whatever. Stay with America. We can fix this stuff. Our whole panel is coming back. Peter Schiff, Arthur Laffer, Steve Forbes, Buffett, right on target. And yes, he will fix a little bit mark to market. Stay with us to Kudlow Report. Lots more to do.